The spiritual path really begins prior to the 7 levels of initiation. This has been esoterically called the path of probation. It could be likened to the 9 months of gestation in the womb prior to birth. This is one spiritual gestation, of course. The actual birth is the taking of the first initiation. The first initiation deals with developing mastery over our most dense body or vehicle, which is the physical body. To pass this initiation, one is required to develop a beginning level of mastery over this body and its appetites, requirements, sexual urges, sleep habits, and so on in service of the soul or higher self, which at this point would hold the ideal of balance and moderation. The second initiation deals with the need to develop mastery over our second most dense vehicle, which is the emotional and/or astral body. To pass this initiation, one must develop mastery over one's emotions, feelings, and desires to a certain degree, in service of the soul and/or higher self. It is not so much the perfection in this regard that is required, but rather conscious intent and continual choice-making to move in this direction. Material desires are beginning to be transformed into the spiritual desire for liberation and God realization. The disciple is learning to not be a victim of their desires, feelings and emotions, but rather a master and cause. See my second book called Soul Psychology for help in this area. This is the level of initiation in which most people stay stuck the longest. The third initiation is mastery of the next most dense vehicle, which is the mental body. To pass this initiation, one must develop some level of mastery over the mind and one's thoughts in service of the soul. This initiation is the first more major initiation, for this initiation leads one to achieve what is called soul merger or soul infusion. The mastery of the physical body, astral body, and mental body allow the disciple and/or personality on earth to merge with their soul on earth. This can clearly be seen in the discipline in their desire to be loving, forgiving, and to be of service, as well as to begin the process of liberation from the wheel of rebirth. It must be understood here that initiation is a process. It doesn't all happen in one moment. There is one moment when you receive the rod of initiation from the Lord Maitreya, the president of the spiritual hierarchy. However, there are 7 sub-levels between each of the 7 major initiations. When one takes any given initiation, they become a kindergarten disciple or initiate at that level. You must then move through all 7 sub-levels to fully complete that initiation. This is what I was referring to in the introduction when I said I took my 6th initiation or ascension. However, I really didn't fully complete it until I realized the 7th sub-level of the 6th initiation and then took my 7th major initiation. It wasn't until then that I really felt as though I had graduated and fully mastered my ascension. Once one merges with their soul at the 3rd initiation, things begin to speed up very rapidly. The 4th initiation is a major marker point. It is at this initiation that the soul body, which is also esoterically referred to as the causal body, burns up, and the higher self or soul, which has been your guide through all your incarnations, merges back into the monad and/or spirit. The monad and/or spirit has also been referred to as the mighty I Am presence in some schools. From this moment on, spirit is your guide and teacher, not the soul. The soul was serving as an intermediary teacher until this moment. The soul body and/or causal body previous to this initiation serves as the repository for all your good karma from all your past lives and your current life. This repository is burned up over a period of time as one moves through towards completion of this initiation. The 4th initiation has also been esoterically referred to as the initiation of renunciation. This is so because, prior to taking it, one is required on some level to renunciate or let go of all attachments to the material world. This means the letting go of one's attachments to fame, fortune, money, power, selfishness, people, family or reputation. I often think of this, myself, as the Job initiation to the Bible, where everything is stripped away as a test to see if one remains righteous in the eyes of the Lord. Even though in previous teachings we were told that the 4th initiation meant complete liberation from the wheel of rebirth, we now know that, while this is an important step, initiates continue through the reincarnation process into another body at the close of this one or through the continuation of this life until full ascension is achieved. I, personally, have not felt fully freed from the wheel of rebirth until I completed my 6th initiation and or the 7th sublevel of the 6th initiation. It was during this initiation ceremony that I finally felt fully freed for eternity. The 4th initiation requires 65% light quotient in your 4-body system. The 5th initiation is, in a sense, similar to the 3rd initiation. In the 3rd initiation one begins the process of soul merge. The 5th initiation is the beginning stage of monadic merger. This could also be called spirit merge, and or I am presence. It is for this reason that this initiation might be considered the very beginning glimpse of your actual ascension, which is the 6th initiation. What ascension really is where the personality on earth, the soul, and the monad all become one unified being on earth. The 5th initiation merges the monad in consciousness, however not in full actuality yet. At the 5th initiation one has to have 75% light quotient in one's field. Another thing I want to say here about the initiation process that most people don't understand is that these initiations occur on the inner plane and are very subtle. I would say most people are not even consciously aware they have taken them. This is true very often even in the case of those people who are theoretically aware of the 7 levels of initiation and are working on them consciously. This is even true of taking one's actual ascension, which, I am sure will blow apart most people's fantasies and conceptions of what ascension really is. I speak from direct knowledge and experience in saying these things. I must admit that the process of completing 7 levels of initiation was much different than I expected. I, personally, happen to be quite aware of all of my later initiations and they were all quite wonderful. This is rare as I am learning. I am acquainted with a great number of people now who are beginning to take these initiations. Everyone agrees, however, that the actual initiation experience is more subtle than they expected. This is not to say that they are not profound. I was profoundly impacted by my 5th, 6th and 7th initiations, but not in the way that I expected to be, and was most deeply affected by the 7th initiation. This is where I felt the largest and most extraordinary transformation took place. The 6th initiation and ascension. The taking of the 6th initiation is the actual ascension experience for which everyone is waiting and working. In the past, when a person took their 6th initiation, they usually left their bodies and passed on to the spiritual world. On rare occasions, they were able to dematerialize their physical body and take it with them. However, this was more the exception than the rule. The new push of the spiritual hierarchy and Senate, Kuma, is to have people ascend, take their 6th initiation, and continue serving on earth to help bring in the new age. Ascension is full merger with the monad or I am presence, or spirit on earth. There is a ceremony that takes place on the inner plane, involving Sanat Kumara. However, in my opinion, most will not remember it. The actual experience is subtle, while the implications of taking this initiation are quite profound. There are 7 planes through which each of us must evolve. Each of these 7 planes is connected with each of the 7 levels of initiation.